Good morning, my name is Cupido. Today we'll be looking at the second cycle for my micro teaching lesson plan. Now before we get into the actual lesson plan, I just want to say that as compared to my first cycle for the micro teaching, I would say that this lesson plan is more holistic, whereas the first one was more linear, where we were just focusing on skills. This one is more holistic, where we focus on a lot of different developmental aspects for the students. So our previous lesson was a bit longer. This one is very short. It's more clarity, and we focus on smaller aspects of the lesson, so the students can pick it up really quickly. So our topic is Introduction to Color Theory, and our subtopic is creating color variations. One of the most important things that they learn in color theory are the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So for this micro lesson, which is only supposed to last 10 minutes, we look at creating color variations. So the learning objectives: students will understand the terms hue, tint, tone, and shade. So we're going to explain what is a hue, what is a tint, what is a tone, and what is a shade. We're going to create quick color variations using a single hue. We're going to reflect briefly on how color changes affect mood. For the materials, we're going to use paints, and which are the primary colors, and the neutrals, black and white. We're going to have brush palettes, water containers, paper, sketchbooks, and a color wheel reference, which is very important because you want to really drill their primary colors into students' heads so they'll be able to know it without having to look at their reference. So for the content, we're going to do introduction. The teacher is going to show a color wheel and ask students, how does adding white or black change a color? This is a very important icebreaker. It helps engage the class. We want students to start thinking right away about these things. So if I have a color and I add some white to it, what is going to happen to that color? If I add some black to it, what is going to happen to that color? We want to engage the students right away in our lesson. We're going to define hue, tint, tone, shade with a quick example. We have red, we add some white to it, we're going to get pink. We have burgundy, we add some dark to it, we're going to get muted red. So we show the students one hue, and we show them how adding the neutrals and the amount of neutrals we add to it create different color variations. For our demonstrations, we're just going to mix one hue. For example, we have blue with white, black, and gray to show variations. So we have a single color, we have white, the neutrals white and black, and gray. We're going to mix all of those with a single color to show the students variations of tint, tones, and shade. So the students are going to choose one hue for the practice and create a mini strip. So you have a very small piece of strip of paper, and it's a very quick and speed lesson. We're going to create one tint, one shade, and one tone. So they choose a color. We use black, white, and gray, and we're going to create those tints, tones, and shade in this lesson. We're going to something that's going to be very important. That to be neat, but keep it fast-paced. A very important tool that they can use are paper tapes. So we lay down paper tape on our sketch files or our strips that we're working with. It's going to help them to work really quickly, but also keep their work really neat. For the reflection presentation, students will hold up their strips, and the teacher is going to ask which color variation feels calm, which feels dramatic. We're going to do a brief discussion on how color affects mood. So when the students have all created their different strips, we're going to talk a bit about mood. So we all know that people ascribe emotions to colors. So maybe somebody created a really light pink, maybe somebody created a really dark red. While they all come from the same tone, the students are now going to interact with the teacher and within themselves and discuss what is the mood, what is the feeling between these colors, and how is that color affecting people. When people see it, how do they see it? We're going to discuss the mood of colors. For the assessment, we have observation and analysis. So the students correctly mix and label tints, shade, and tone. When they mix in white, is it a tint, is it a tone, or a shade? They must be able to differentiate between these before the lessons is over. So we want to clear up any misconceptions so the students know exactly what they're doing. For the analysis, students explain one mood linked to their color variation. So if they create pastel yellow, they create a burgundy, they create a lilac, they're gonna ascribe or attach an emotion to the color that they created. The teacher concludes the lesson, clears up any misconceptions, engages students' understanding of the lesson. Now, This is where we look back at if they created a tint, if it's labeled correctly, if the printed tone is all labeled correctly. We don't want any miscommunication in the class, and we want them, but we also want them to enjoy the class. This is why we're working with the color variation, and we attach mood. Like I said, this lesson plan for Cycle 2 is more holistic. We look at many aspects. We look at the practical aspect, we look at mood, we're trying to develop the students in having, instead of having a more linear lesson plan where they just focus on practical, where they just learn how to create, they learn a skill. We want it to be more holistic. So that brings us to the end of my micro teaching lesson plan. I hope you enjoyed it. I know, and I can't wait to practice it in class to see if the students will enjoy it as well. Thank you.